I'm Holly from Your Past is a Gift. Now I'm here today because I want to talk to you about the world and the state that it's in. Okay, so we're talking about how angry the world has become and how the majority of people are living in anger now, and trying to understand where this anger comes from. Because until we can understand it, and until we can understand why people are so angry, we can't stop being angry. It's just the way it is. So I'm here today to challenge you to look at your own life, to stop looking around you, to stop looking at what everyone else is doing, what everyone else is saying, and start to really look at your own life. Start to think for yourself. The moments in your life that you've been happy, really, truly happy. The moments in your life where you felt really sad, overwhelmed with sadness, if you've had any moments like that yet in your life. And the moments in your life where you've felt afraid because you don't want to relive a certain experience. You don't want to go through that pain anymore. And this fear just protects you from having to go through that again. It stops you from trying to go in that direction. You don't want to go through that ever again. So today is really the first day of your life. You know, we can't change until we stop looking at everyone else and we stop looking at everything outside of us. Because the outside world keeps telling you that you need all these things to be amazing. You need all these external things to be awesome. And my videos are here to tell you the absolute opposite. You don't need any of that to be who you are. You don't need any of it. Not the fancy clothes, not the fancy car, not the diploma, the degree, not the house, not the swimming pool, not the boat, you name it. Whatever it is out there that you think, you know, when I have that, not your wedding day, if you're waiting to get married and then you're going to be blissfully happy for the rest of your life, if you're waiting to have your kids, the day you have your children, your life will take off, you'll be blissfully happy. None of that's going to make a difference. Because these are experiences that you're going to have. Okay, having a nice house makes you feel good. Okay, it might make you feel good about who you are. But it doesn't change who you are. Having a nice fancy car makes you feel good. Wow, I've got this lovely new car now. But that doesn't change who you are. Because if you grew up from a very poor background, as my parents did, and it doesn't matter how much you accumulate, in your soul, you're always going to feel poor. If that's who you think you are. Because I watched my parents, you know, build a beautiful home. It was gorgeous. And it was their dream home. You know? And we had a beautiful new car. And I went to expensive, fancy schools that cost a lot of money. But they were the best schools at the time. I've done all that. We've had all that. And no one was happy with that. You know, I had a great childhood. I can't say, honestly, I had a great childhood. But my memories of my childhood that make me happy are days playing tennis, especially the days I could play tennis with Dad. They made me happy. Or playing ping pong, where the whole family was playing table tennis. And we're all involved and we're all laughing and being goofy and silly. Days on the trampoline, jumping up and down. being a kid. Lovely afternoons sitting at the piano playing, because I really loved playing music. All those beautiful, beautiful memories, but I wouldn't have felt any more or any less if my house was not the fancy house that we had, or the car. Like, if it's funny, because I think children take on what their parents are feeling. If their parents are ashamed of the house they live in, or they're ashamed of the car they're driving, and of course your parents make comments around you all the time. So if they're making comments about that, then you take on that shame. That, oh, I'm not good enough because I've got to go to school in this crappy car, or I'm not good enough because I've got to live in this crappy house, or whatever it is that they've taken on. The children take on that shame from listening to the adults always having those conversations. It's so funny. But to me, it made no difference. If my house was small or if my house was large, or most of my fun, was in the backyard. I was playing in the backyard with my dog, or, with my friends. If we had time, sports at school, that was one of the things I enjoyed the most. I loved, playing games outdoors, all these lovely things. I had a great childhood. I can't complain about the childhood I had, and I was very close to my dad, because I know for a lot of kids, they're not close to either parents. They don't have that connection. So even though I felt my whole life that I wasn't connected to my mum, and I felt alien to her, like there was no connection, with my dad I felt like the most connected I'd been to a human being in my whole life, in my childhood. He was my best friend, and we were so close. He was always supportive, and I didn't feel, I was fortunate. I was one of those kids that I didn't feel I had to do anything to earn his love. It was always there. It was constant, and that, I think, is what made for a beautiful childhood, to have someone that made you feel valuable, that made you feel that you were special, just for being in their life. That's how he always made me feel, But I didn't have that with Mum, and yet you spend your whole life later trying to work out what I did or didn't do, that she didn't have that same love for me, So for some of you, maybe you didn't have it with either parent, and you've grown up your whole life thinking that you weren't wanted by either one, But it's not true. At the end of the day, for many of us, that's not the truth. It's just that parent didn't know how to express it, or maybe that parent was too ashamed of who they were, of what they've been through, that they can't connect, because then you get to know them, you get to know who they are, you get to see who they are, and then you'll reject them. They're not good enough for your love, and this is what causes them to create a distance, create a barrier between you and them, and then you spend your whole life later thinking, why did they not want me? Why did they not love me? Why did they, it was a mystery for the longest time, until I realized the truth of it, none of it was true. She did want me, and she did love me. She just couldn't express it in a way that I could understand it, like I did with my dad. With my dad, it was so obvious, his love for me, and that it was unconditional. It was always there. No matter what I did, I couldn't do any wrong. He'd always love me, So looking back, this was my childhood. I had a very happy childhood. Yes, I had experiences up and down where there were moments, but for many of us, we don't have that at all. We don't have those happy memories, or those moments where we feel that we were loved completely for who we were. And that's what causes the confusion within us of, well, who are we then? If they couldn't love me for who I am, then who am I, really? All right, my darlings. Remember to click like and subscribe below so you don't miss any of the messages. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.